goes out in a day in which some people have spoken to difficult conditions and posted a pretty solid number. You think?
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Solid number.
Yeah, I was surprised with that a little bit. That's kind of what we ran this morning, but the car didn't feel quite as good as it had this morning with that wind gust, and especially in 3 and 4. So it was a very busy laps from my seat. I was definitely working harder, I think, than I've ever worked in any qualifying lap here, and especially the last lap. I got in turn 4, I got a little bit close to the wall on the exit, but that was because of what had happened in the middle of the corner. So I think we can do a better job just adjusting the car to the conditions if we get another run at it. The weather is we don't know quite what's going to happen right now. It was starting to sprinkle during my run, and there's been a couple of very small showers, but it looks like something's on the way. But if we get another go at it, I think we can improve things. Scott
also said he had a moment on his run, and that affects both of you, but in spite of that, you're still up there pretty high as a team. That's got to make you feel awfully good.
No, definitely to see the target cars 2, 3 there is pretty good. Scott, Scott had a moment, and we adjusted because of that. But I don't know if maybe that was the right thing to do. But yeah, Scott was definitely action-packed too.
Action-packed. Questions for Dario?
I was going to ask Tony. Were you talking about restart? Let's say 20 laps to go and a double file restart. I was going to ask him, but you'll have an opinion on this. Should maybe they take a little extra time that late in the race and sweep the marbles?
Well, a lot of the drivers have been talking about the fact that, especially here, for 100 years they've been doing single file restarts. So there's a lot of us, I think the majority of drivers are not really that in favour of doing it here, the double file. But if we do it, they're going to have to sweep it. Otherwise, you're going to have the whole outside rows going to be parked in the fence in turn 1. Yeah. I think the restarts here, if they make a restart later, somewhere around about the pit-in part, so the fans on the front stretch can actually see the restart, I think that would be a good compromise, and you get some good passing into turn 1 as well. But we just, whatever we're told to do, we'll do it. We prefer not to do the double wide, but if we do, we'll do it to the best of our abilities and try and make it work.
Can you guys work that out yourself? You know what I'm saying? I know you can't trust everything.
Come on.
Come on. Well, I'm asking the question, so that yes,
no, absolutely not. Everybody's going to try, and especially the 10 laps to go in the Indy 500.
I didn't talk about that.
All bets are off, I would say. So, but I think it puts us in an impossible position because the marbles here are so bad, and it's a one-groove track after a while. And the first lap, as we saw, last year I was able to pass the Benty guys around the outside. That's doable on the first lap. On lap 50 onwards, or even 20 onwards, that's not doable unless it's cleaned very well. That takes a lot of time, which also adds to the length of the yellows. And the fans have come to see us run under green, not under yellow.
Questions for Dario? I just would mention one thing, and you probably about this. It was only when I worked for ABC Sports for the very first time and I was in the old race control that I looked down that I said, that racetrack is narrow. I don't think sometimes fans understand that because to them it looks pretty wide.
Yeah, exactly. This is an interesting place to do a 3-wide start, definitely. And I think that my qualifying when I found out just how narrow it was off of turn 4 there. But it is a very narrow track. It's part of why it's so difficult. It adds to the challenge of the whole place.
Well, you've measured it a couple of times yourselves. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, guys.